Today, are you allowed to throw in your garbage meat that is very hot? Or let's say you have a piece of cheese that comes out of the oven and it's very hot, you're throwing it into the garbage, and sometimes you have in the garbage other food that it could be isur, meat and dairy, which means let's say you're taking a piece of meat out of the oven or out of your pot and it's still very hot from the fire. And now you don't want a certain piece, you're trying to cut off the fat, you take that fat and you put it into the garbage. You take it with a fork or you take it straight from the pot and you throw it inside. And inside you have a piece of pizza that the kids didn't like and they put it in there. Cheese, something like that. Are you allowed to do such a thing? Or you're violating bishul basar bechalav. You know that the Torah said 3 times, lo tevashel gedi b'chalev imo. One time is for the isur of eating, another time for isur of ana, you're not allowed to benefit from it even if you're not eating it, and another time you're not allowed to cook it even though you're not eating it and you're not benefiting from it. When it goes into the garbage in such a way, that would be considered cooking basar bechalav. Now in order to cook basar bechalav, it needs to be from a kli rishon. Some say even kli sheni. Shulchan Aruch brings down to be careful on kli sheni. He brings this down in Siman Kufay in Ilchot Aruvot. But Kli Rishon definitely would be mevashel. When you throw it in such a way, it comes from a Kli Rishon. We have a serious question over here. So we need to know that normally, if you don't know there's cheese in there, you don't have to worry so much. You take a look, you don't see anything that it should go on top of, that should be okay. Although it comes from the Kli Rishon. Why? Because it's a little bit more kal over here, although the pot you're having is Kli Rishon, but once you're pouring from it, or you're taking with a fork, which would be the same thing because it didn't land yet in a Kli Sheni, and you put it inside the garbage, that's considered irui. Irui is machloket rishonim, if it's mevashel or not. Machloket the Rashbam holds not, Rabbeinu Tam holds yes. We machmir like Rabbeinu Tam that it is mevashel, but you have it tzad to be mekel. Also, you have over here a safek if there is something in there that's going to be getting together and be mitbashel. So therefore, you have over here some leniencies. You have the famous leniency of the Kesef Mishneh that says and brings that the Rambam asks, why is it that by basar b'chalav we don't find that the Torah mentions isur achila, only isur bishul? Shata katuv mi isur achila. The Torah didn't say don't eat basar b'chalav, rather don't cook basar b'chalav. So the way it's learned in the Rambam, that's the way the Kesef Mishneh wants to say, that it's like a gzerah. The Torah makes a gzerah over here. Don't cook because you might come to eat. But over here, says the Tashbin Rav, that you don't have to worry in such a scenario. Why? Because you're not going to eat such a thing. You're just throwing it in the garbage in order to get rid of it. He's not posek like this la'alacha, but that's a sniff to be mekel. Also, you have the Svara of the Psamim Rosh that says that in cheese you don't have a din of basar b'chalav because it's not derech bishul. So you have some svarot to be mekel. Lechatchila, definitely a person should look if he's throwing something from a Kli Rishon into the garbage and see that the inside there's it doesn't land inside on top of a piece of cheese or vice versa. Another instant that could be a problem in the garbage is, let's say you have inside the garbage a bowl of milk. The kids finished eating their cereal in the morning with the milk and they put it in there. You have the milk inside the bowl, a little bit milk. You take a piece of chicken, a piece of meat, not hot, cold, and you put it inside and it lands inside that milk. So therefore such a thing would be after 24 hours considered kavush kimvushal. It cooks in such a way. Although it's cold, after 24 hours we would consider this cooked. On this you can be lenient also, because kavush, the way the Pri Chadash brings down, the way the Be'eretev brings down in the very first siman in Pei Zayin, very first seif, that kavush, although it's kavushal, but it's not derech bishul, so therefore we right away dealing with something that's only isur derabanan, that should be a little bit more lenient as well. As long as you're looking inside, you don't see anything that should land on that's like that, that's fine. If you see that there's a bowl of milk, don't put it inside, that's all. You prevent that problem as well, although it would be only a isur derabanan for the matter we just said.